The hardest part of getting older is not wrinkles, not gray hair. It is quietly watching the people who once protected you become fragile. If your parents are aging right now, please spend more time with them than your phone. Because one day you will wish for just one more ordinary conversation. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to Life After 50 with Ratna. This channel is our peaceful space where we talk honestly about life after 50, emotional healing, relationships, mental wellness, aging loneliness, self-worth, and finding strength in life's most emotional seasons. In our last few vlogs, we spoke about carrying heavy emotional burdens at night and also about feeling emotionally invisible after 50. Today's conversation connects deeply with both of those feelings because one of the quietest griefs many adults carry, especially after 40 and 50, is watching their parents grow old while they themselves are growing older too. And friends, this grief is very strange because nobody teaches us how to prepare for it. So tonight, sit with me quietly. This conversation may touch some deep emotions, but sometimes healing begins when we finally speak honestly about what hurts. You know, there is usually one moment, one small ordinary moment, and suddenly your heart realizes, my parents are getting old. Maybe your father repeats the same story twice. Maybe your mother walks slower than before. Maybe they ask you to read small letters because they cannot see clearly anymore. Maybe the strong hands that once protected you now shake slightly while holding a cup of tea. And something happens inside you, a silent heartbreak. Because in your mind, your parents were always strong, almost permanent, like childhood itself. One of the strangest feelings in adulthood is role reversal. The people who once reminded you to take medicines now forget their own medicines. The people who once protected you crossing roads now hold your arm while walking. The people who once solved all your problems now look at you for help. And honestly, that emotional shift is very heavy. Because part of us still feels like a child around our parents. No matter how old we become, I remember visiting an older relative once. This person had always been powerful, energetic, loud, and confident. The kind of person who entered a room and controlled the entire atmosphere. But that day they moved slowly. Their voice had become softer. They needed help standing up. And while talking to them, I suddenly felt emotional. Not because anything dramatic happened, because life had quietly changed. And I realized something painful. Time does not ask permission before moving forward. The world talks about grief after loss, but nobody talks enough about grief before loss. The grief of watching aging happen slowly, watching memory change, watching energy disappear, watching your parents become physically weaker while still emotionally trying to stay strong for you. That grief is complicated because your parents are still here, but your heart already feels the ache of time passing. And sometimes you feel guilty for even thinking about it. Many people over 50 are emotionally standing in the middle of life. On one side, aging parents, on the other side, children, responsibilities, finances, health worries, and in the middle, you, trying to stay emotionally strong for everybody. Honestly, this stage of life can become emotionally exhausting. You worry about your parents' health. You worry about hospital visits. You worry about emergencies. And sometimes late at night, fear quietly enters your heart. And let us be honest, parents never stop being parents. Even at 85 years old, they still ask, did you eat? Meanwhile, they are the ones forgetting where they kept their glasses, which are usually on their own head. And somehow, these small funny moments become precious later. I think one of the deepest fears people carry is regret. Did I spend enough time with them? Did I speak kindly enough? Was I too busy? Did I truly listen? Because modern life steals attention. We are always rushing, always multitasking, always saying, I'll call later. But one painful truth of life is this: later is never guaranteed. As we grow older, we begin understanding our parents differently. When we are children, we only see what they give us physically: food, school, clothes, protection. But with age, we begin seeing the invisible sacrifices: their stress, their sleepless nights, their fears, their compromises, the dreams they quietly gave up for family. And honestly, this realization can make your heart very emotional. Because suddenly you understand they were human too, not superheroes, human beings trying their best. One heartbreaking thing happens with aging parents. Sometimes they begin feeling emotionally insecure too. They fear becoming dependent. They fear being a burden. They fear loneliness, and sometimes they hide pain just to avoid worrying their children. That's why emotional presence matters so much. Not only money, not only medicine, presence, listening, patience, time. So please do something while your parents are still here. Sit with them slowly sometimes, without rushing, without constantly checking phones. Ask questions. What was your childhood like? What dreams did you have? What was your happiest memory? One day, these stories will become treasures, and you will be grateful you listened. Many people today live in different cities of countries from parents, and that creates another emotional pain: the helplessness of distance. You worry constantly, you wonder, what if something happens? And every phone call from parents sometimes creates sudden panic, especially late night calls. Friends, if this is your situation, please remember, do your best with love. Do not destroy yourself with guilt. Life today is complicated. What matters most is genuine care and emotional connection. There is one moment that breaks many hearts quietly. Seeing a parent physically fragile, maybe struggling to climb stairs, maybe forgetting names, maybe needing support to walk, and suddenly your mind flashes back to childhood when they carried you. That emotional contrast is overwhelming because love remembers strength even when time changes the body. Oddly enough, aging parents also teach us how to age ourselves. They teach us life is temporary, health matters, relationships matters, time matters, peace matters. Not every argument matters. Not every ego matters. Not every stress deserves our energy. Watching parents age makes many people softer, more grateful, more emotionally aware. And this connects deeply to our last vlogs, when we talked about carrying emotional heaviness at night. Many of those worries are connected to family. And when we talked about emotional invisibility, sometimes aging parents feel invisible too. So please remember this. The same kindness you need emotionally, your parents need too. So what should we do? Spend more real time together, not distracted time, real presence. Speak kindly. One day your words will become memories. Take photos not only for social media, for your heart. Listen patiently. Even repeated stories, one day you may miss hearing them. Say I love you, even if your generation rarely said it openly. Love spoken aloud matters. You know something deeply emotional? At some point in life, many people realize they are slowly becoming the older generation too. And that realization changes everything. Suddenly, you understand your parents more deeply than ever before. Their fears, their exhaustion, their sacrifices, and perhaps for the first time, you stop judging them too harshly. That maturity is painful, but beautiful too. Tonight, if your parents are still alive, please feel grateful. Even if relationships are imperfect, even if there bear misunderstandings, time itself is precious. And if your parents are no longer here, please know this lovingly. The love between parent and child does not disappear. Memories continue living quietly inside us, in habits, in recipes, in voices inside our heads, in values they gave us. Love leaves fingerprints on the soul. So, my dear friends, as we close tonight's conversation, I want you to remember the messages from our last few vlogs. From our first vlog, you do not have to solve your whole life tonight. From our second vlog, do not become emotionally invisible. And from tonight's vlog, do not wait too long to cherish the people who once carried you through life. Rest matters, your voice matters, and relationships matter too. Life after 50 is teaching us something very important. Love must be expressed while people are still here to hear it. Thank you for spending this emotional time with me. If this video touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may be quietly carrying this grief too. Until then, call your parents if you can, speak gently, rest peacefully, and never forget the ordinary moments we rush through today often become the memories we miss tomorrow. Good night.